My paper on adaptation machines unpacks a problematic politics of life in disaster management. Through an institutional ethnography of participatory resilience programming in Kingston, Jamaica, I analyze how staff in Jamaica's National Disaster Management Agency engage with a qualitatively distinct form of collective life while working in Kingston's garrison districts. I draw on autonomous Marxist and Deleuzian readings of biopolitics to identify a new subject of disaster politics that I call adaptation machines. Adaptation machines are decentralized and self-organizing apparatuses of capture that are parasitically reliant on the population's adaptive capacities. This concept enables us to envision resilience politics as a struggle over how to appropriate vulnerable people's world-forming constituent power. In Kingston, the adaptation machine of participatory resilience operates through techniques that fabricate an artificial form of insecurity, a kind of vulnerability that can be governed through disaster management techniques. In contrast, the war machine of the garrison is organized around a different kind of vulnerability, the insecurity of 40 years on the front lines of the neoliberal counter-revolution. Garrison life has been shaped by the confluence of political, economic, cultural, and geopolitical force relations that together produce a hyper-adaptive life that exceeds the norms, laws, and measures of global neoliberal order. The challenge in Kingston, then, was not that vulnerable peoples lacked adaptive capacity, but rather that they had too much adaptability, and could thus undermine practitioners' efforts to develop desired forms of resilience that sustain existing forms of neoliberal order. So the concept of adaptation machines and the rethinking of power and politics it entails can contribute to emerging debates around resilience. The need to develop a new imaginary of resilience politics is particularly pressing. Resilience has become an overarching principle in diverse fields like environmental management, psychology, national security, and disaster management. However, critical thought on resilience has reached a stalemate of sorts. Conventional approaches emphasize transitions and transformability, which reduces politics to post-political programs of calculated socio-ecological improvement. Foucauldian readings of resilience offer an incisive critique of resilience's biopolitical effects, even suggesting that neoliberal resilience negates the potential for critique. But this line of thinking potentially hamstrings radical scholars' ability to do anything with resilience. In contrast, the concept of adaptation machines directs critical attention to resilience's parasitic reliance on target populations' world-forming adaptive capacities, which creates a new space for ethical and political action in resilience research and practice. Specifically, it opens a space for thinking how radical scholars, as one element of adaptation machines among others, can potentially influence how resilience assemblages conceptualize, operationalize, and appropriate adaptive capacities. As such, in my paper here, I attempt to offer a critical yet constructive contribution to ongoing debates in geography and related fields on biopolitics, resilience, and more generally, how uncertain futures are governed. So that's an overview of my paper. I hope you'll read it and share any thoughts, comments, questions, or feedback with me over email at keg12@aber.ac.uk. Thanks, and I look forward to hearing from you.